Hello wonderful people, it's Maria here. Today I wanted to start a brief conversation about friendships. So I will be sharing 5 signs that a friendship may be toxic or unhealthy in nature. The reason that I wanted to share this is it's pretty near and dear to my heart. As many of us have, I have been in friendships before where I was not treated well, or maybe I didn't treat someone well. You know, we're not immune to it, and even us ourselves, we could give off toxic traits before we know better. Now, a really important distinction I want to make is that sometimes it's not the individual themselves that's toxic, it's actually just the interaction between two people. Not everyone is meant to be best friends. Sometimes personalities clash, and two people are very different or very similar, and they just don't mesh well, or they don't really respect each other in the right way. So let's just normalize that and know that sometimes you're just better off as friendly strangers or not friends at all. People at times can allow their personal struggles to interfere with the way that they treat others. And it's often if they don't have the right coping mechanisms. Let's say they don't have therapy, but they had to deal with a lot of loss or a lot of abuse in their life, and so they then go on and abuse others. And this isn't necessarily a personal fault. It can be very unintentional, but we need to examine those unhealthy patterns in ourselves and also be able to recognize them in other people in order to have really healthy friendships moving forward. So without further ado, let's get on to the signs that somebody may be a toxic friend. Number 1, it does not feel safe to go to them for advice or when you're struggling. If you feel that they might judge you instead of help you, this should be a pretty big red flag, because if you don't feel that you can trust them to keep your secret safe or to help you feel better when things are really rough, that's a recipe for a very unhealthy friendship. A more extreme example is that they kind of seem to enjoy when you're suffering. That sounds really scary, like a horror movie, but I've had it happen to me before, where if I kind of confided in a friend and I said that I was having some struggles going on, it seemed like they liked helping me with it, but not in a good way. They like to see that they're not the only one struggling, and when you're having a hard time, it kind of feeds them rather than the other way around. Big no-no, we don't want that for ourselves. We want healthy friendships where we can talk about things that bother us and we're not getting scared by them. Sign number 2 actually goes right along with number 1, and it's the very opposite. When you feel like you can't go to them for your victories, like they do not want to celebrate all of the good things that happen to you when they happen. So typically the way that this looks is they'll get very jealous. They seem to act really strange when you have good news. They might kind of say like, oh cool, or oh congrats, but you can tell in their face, their body language, the way that they speak to you. They might even kind of stop talking to you for a little bit because they're jealous. You should be able to tell your friends when something really good happens for you and not worry that they're going to act strange or jealous or make you feel bad about the good things. Sign number 3 that somebody might be a toxic friend is a big one for me. This kind of triggers me to even talk about because I've had it happen so many times across so many years. This is when someone gets mad at you over something very insignificant. So like you forget to text them back, or you hang out with a different friend without telling them about it, or something where you're just living your life, doing what feels good to you, and you're not hurting the person at all, and yet they get constantly offended. This can just show a lot of insecurity in that person, a lot of issues that they haven't resolved yet. And to go along with getting mad at you, if they ghost you, if they just stop talking, maybe they block you online, maybe, ignore your texts, or basically just disappear after they get mad and they don't tell you why they're upset. That is a very childish thing to do. That is so elementary school. We don't need that going forward. That's just so not okay, and you deserve so much better than that. So please keep an eye out for that immature, mad at you stuff. It's so bad. I don't even want to talk about it anymore. Sign number 4 is if the energy and effort invested in that friendship is very disproportionate between two people. So let's say that you always reach out to them and ask them how they're doing. Maybe you get them a birthday present and you don't even get a card for yours. Maybe you're always the one to initiate hanging out or getting coffee, and they just seem to never really want to talk to you. That can mean that the friendship is just not that healthy, because then the person who puts in more effort is going to feel like not valued. Now, of course, friendships have different seasons, if that makes sense. So there are times maybe when one friend is going through something really tough and the other is checking in on them and doing things for them. And that is so normal and healthy for one person to kind of support the other when that person is having difficulty. Am I eloquent right now? Hope so. But if this is a constant thing and it happens over the course of years and it never really changes, that's when it's really important to either have a conversation with this person, or if that person does not understand, then maybe it's just not worth putting in that effort anymore. And that's okay. You have other people who care about you and who want your energy and your time. And last but not least, sign number 5 that they might be a toxic friend. Your energy feels drained after you're with this person. So this one is a little harder to tell because you have to know yourself well and how your energy levels vary. So here's what you do to determine this. When you're with this friend, you ask yourself the following questions. Do I feel energized? Do I feel good about myself? Do I feel inspired? And do I want to go do more things? I wrote these myself, but I can't even read anymore. So basically, do you feel like you have more energy and more inspiration and more of a willingness to go out and, accomplish the goals that you have for the day? And did you have fun with that person? Like, did you genuinely feel like yourself? That is such a huge indicator of whether or not somebody is a good influence on you and whether or not they're a good friend. If the answer to these questions is no, then that can be a really good sign that this friendship is not revitalizing you, it's not helping you, it might just be maybe making you feel worse. And that's really important to be able to tell. And that is all I have for you today. I really hope this resonated with you, and if it did, please let me know down below. There's probably not a person that goes through their life without having had a friendship that wasn't good for them. You know what? We learn from each one. We learn more about ourselves, what we deserve. Not every friendship is the same. Not every one of them is going to have the same energy, the same vibe, the same involvement. But at the end of the day, you deserve to be respected. You deserve to be given energy and love. So let's continue to surround ourselves with really awesome people who energize us. And yeah, I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day. And please comment below and subscribe and like and all of the good things. I have my nice candle going, so all the cozy vibes are in here, and I hope you liked that. Thank you again for watching, and until next time.